Okay, so on my stream, I have my face and I have meeps because this is just like totally unscripted, and I have a bunch of like thoughts and ideas and things, but this is my first time, and I'm never as prepared as I want to be. I always want to be more prepared, but that's never the case. It's just that life comes at you fast.
And from me, I will just put up the automated dual replay thingy in the background.
Just
And then it's just gonna
perpetual dual
be
lives to keep our
us.
chatters
Yeah,
occupied. That's a good idea.
yeah. So they have something shiny to look at. But I can lower the sound effects of the game so it's not too distracting.
I'm thinking
Ba,
if
ba,
I should do
ba.
that, or just I'm just gonna stay on my face.
Pink Road, thank you for the follow. Welcome, welcome. All right. So would you like to explain to everyone here what exactly it is that we're doing?
Okay, so this let me start with my life story. I always start with, so whenever I look at a recipe on a website, they're always telling their life story before they tell you how to make the chicken nuggets. And I don't care about their life story. I just want the chicken nuggets recipe. I just need to know how to make my nuggies. But you need a little bit of my story. And this is that I am always running into false narratives and cognitive dissonance, and when I confront people on it, they run
Mm-hmm.
away. And so
Sure.
what I have learned is that this is what happens. This is okay. So I don't know if you've ever had therapy. Have you ever had like an actual therapy session?
No, I can't say that I have. No.
Okay. So a lot of people like the things like Deck Doctor and like how to fix stuff and all that sort of stuff, which is awesome. And I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I love learning, I love improving and fixing things and all that. But the problem, the like I have a philosophical problem with these like the allopathic fixing, and is that so if you send Jesse Cotton your deck and then he says, do this, this will make it better, you haven't learned anything.
Right.
So this is the same idea as like therapy is going to you you are it challenges your beliefs and your thoughts, but not directly. Have you heard of rubber ducky coding?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's a very similar concept. And chat, if you haven't, it's where you just are explaining your problem to a rubber ducky or something, and then you talking about it, you are able to solve your own problem. The rubber ducky does nothing. So the what I want to do is kind of therapize people on like their Yu-Gi-Oh ideas and beliefs, because I think that the community as a whole could do with a lot more thinking, but therapy is very, very stigmatized. So I've yet to come up with a good branding for this.
Mm-hmm.
But what it is therapy, and there's no real goal here, because the goal is to for you for me to guide you along. You look at your beliefs and maybe and at least challenge them. And it's fine if nothing changes, because that is the rigor. The rigor is that you think about whatever it is and then make a decision on that. Your beliefs are challenged, and it can
Mm-hmm.
go in a whole bunch of different directions, of course. And I have like some questions and stuff, but again, this is unscripted. My first time, you're my first victim, and I'm also going to learn a lot in how to make this happen. Um,
Yeah. Let's just do it. Hopefully, I can come up with coherent statements. And I'm glad we're doing this early into the stream, so I'm not like brain dead yet.
and that's
So
fine.
yeah.
That's totally fine if you don't. So the other day, I have let me have an example. My
Mm-hmm.
so Sundry, I don't know if you know Sundry. He gets around. He was telling me that he was watching some player play a no ban list, or a non not a no ban list, a non-meta tournament, but the guy just had White Forest in his deck. He was just playing White Forest without Baron against like Tenpai. Like that's where they were in the tournament. And Sundry asks
This
them like,
is cardboard.
No, this
This
was
is
on Twitch.
TCG.
I don't know. I think it
Oh,
was
okay.
on Master Duel.
Oh, sure.
Because they were talking about Baron, so it must have been Master Duel. So he was playing White Forest without Baron, which makes it,
Mm-hmm.
in his voice, not a meta deck anymore. So therefore, it's valid for this tournament. And Sundry is asking, like, this is just meta. What are you doing here? And then he's like got really, really defensive and then ended stream. Like he literally
Mm.
ended stream because he was experiencing cognitive dissonance and his ideas were crashing. And cognitive dissonance feels a lot like it feels like anxiety. It feels like overwhelming dread, and you're like, oh no, what my two thoughts here don't work. They are in complete conflict. Idea A and idea B, when laid bare, they are non-functional together. They have an anti-synergy. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm gonna start here with your, because we all have biases, and I think we know this. So I want to start with how you got your like gaming journey into Yu-Gi-Oh, because one specific point that a lot of players are stuck on is this like meta or non-meta, like whether you are playing something good and whether that is right or wrong to begin with. So
Okay.
if I understand, you got into Yu-Gi-Oh, you saw a YouTube video of people playing Master Duel, and you have no other Yu-Gi-Oh experience, and then you got into it from there.
Yes. So well, basically, moving like a bit further back, it was like back during COVID era. I just happened to see the YouTube video from Simo, doing the progression series for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that's when I became aware of Simo, Nimnim, and MBT. Um, and I've never really played Yu-Gi-Oh, like, in any sort of fashion until then. And even then, I was just like watching, right? I wasn't really like, trying to buy cards and or finding a simulator where I could play the game. And then it was just like a few years later, it was like into progression series where they started playing Master Duel. And yeah, that's when I got into it.
Okay. And so you don't have any experience with the anime or the real game, the physical game before that.
I've seen the anime. I've seen uh the original, the one with Yugi and all that, and bits and pieces of 5Ds with the motorcycles because I thought it was
Mm-hmm.
just really funny that they were on bikes. But aside from that, no, that was it.
Okay. And do you have other card game experience? Like, have you played Magic? Have you played Pokemon or any of the other and any other like trading card games?
I don't know if Hearthstone counts as a trading card game,
I
but
would count it.
what
It's
when it came out, I tried to be like a pro player, but it was just too expensive.
okay. So you are into you like the competitive side. So you played Hearthstone. You at least tried to play it at a competitive level, and you
Hmm.
played a lot of Master Duel tournaments and had an amount of success.
Well, um, going back a bit more, before doing the tournament stuff, I when I was starting in Master Duel, when it first came out, I just didn't want to play things that I saw on ladder. So I would try to avoid meta because I thought it was just boring, right? I was like one of those Master Duel players where I think we've talked about like my piles of stuff that back
Yes.
then, since platinum was the highest rank, you could literally get to the highest rank playing anything as long as you had like a 51% win rate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that started my whole like YouTube journey or content creation in general, where I would just like build some funny thing and try to post it on YouTube after, you know, getting some sort of success with it. That was me for like a long time until MBT hosted their very first tournament. I'm not sure if you were aware of it or you were part of it back then. It's called the Master Circuit series.
Yes, yes, I'm aware.
Yeah, so that's when I on the first week that I entered, I was like, okay, this is gonna be my first tournament, and it's gonna be really fun. And the deck that I wanted to bring was a Nordic pile because I thought it was, it would stand up to the test because I got to the top rank with it, right?
Of
Surely
course.
it's going to be good. It was like Nordic with floodgates, of course. That's the only way you could win. It had like Imperial Order, it had DPE, it had Hulk. It was just like good stuff with a Nordic wrapping around it. But I joined the test server that a bunch of these other people joined, and it was just like trashed, right? Math Mech would just go running around in circles, and I would just get destroyed, and I'd be really sad. So then I brought Branded, and that's when it clicked that I need to play better decks to compete with these other people who are, also trying to get to the highest level outside of ranked, right? Because it's tournaments where it's at.
Yes. So this is exactly that like motivation shift. So I read a Magic the Gathering article on my stream and then put it on YouTube. It's called Timmy, Johnny, and Spike. Are you familiar with these characters?
No, no, I know nothing of Magic.
Okay, so Timmy and Johnny and Spike are. I love to explain this. So if you don't have any Magic background, Magic has a lot of game theory like baked directly into it that I am just absolutely enamored with. And so
Mm-hmm.
Timmy, Johnny, and Spike is outside of the game itself, but they are psychographics. Are you aware of like marketing psychographics?
No.
Okay. I'm gonna explain it, and you're gonna be like, "Duh, I should have known that." So marketers
Sure.
collect information on
Mm-hmm.
their target audience, and then they decide like, okay, this type of person, the person who buys these things, would also buy this other thing. So like you can
Okay,
advertise
sure.
this thing to that this type of person,
Mm-hmm.
and you can also create psychographics of who your potential buyer is. So for example, like the I don't know now I'm completely blanking, but the Magic example is they the designer, the other designers when designing a Magic set in the 90s were saying like this card is terrible, we shouldn't even include it in the set, and it was like a big giant dinosaur or something like that. And
Mm-hmm.
this designer goes, no, 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 this card is very exciting for somebody, and that player is Timmy, and he just like came up with the name on the spot.
Sure.
So the big giant dinosaur, the Nordic monsters, are not the
Mm-hmm.
competitive cards, but they excited you on a different level for a different motivation than winning the most amount of games.
Yes. I guess it was because I remembered it right from the few moments that I've watched the 5D's anime.
Mhm.
There was that connection. I was like, okay, I could be one of those guys on the motorcycles and summon these goofy level 10 god cards, and it's gonna be all fine and dandy.
Yes. So you're so would you so in three broad like camps, Timmy, Johnny, and Spike, like Spike wants to win no matter what. Spike is playing the
Mm-hmm.
best deck. Spike doesn't care. Spike is the player that will hand loop you for 6 or play the floodgates, whatever's the best. He doesn't care. Um,
Sure.
Timmy's looking for a fun experience. These are often like the role play duelists um, that want to like be the anime or whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
then Johnny players want to specifically express themselves in their deck building or their gameplay.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
would you say that this Nordic, you were playing Nordics because you thought it had the best chance of winning and you are wrong, or you were playing it because you thought it was cool in some way?
For the cool factor, of course.
Okay. Then that was not a spike motivation. And then when you were entering the tournament, you were able
Mm-hmm.
to fluidly shift your motivations from this is cool and awesome and I want to do this experience, to I will do whatever it takes to win, and that's when you switch to branded at that point, right?
Uh, yeah, yeah, that's correct.
Okay. Um, so did you have any qualms switching off of your deck to a meta deck?
Um, the
Did
only real issue I had was, I mean, like mentally it was fine. I was like, it didn't matter. It was still my version of branded, right? My version of branded had summon limits
Mhm.
and eradicating virus. So it wasn't like the main, like the most common version you would see in ladder or whatever. Like there was always like something that made it my own. So I didn't really have that, I mean, mental dissonance of like, having to switch from a non-meta deck to a meta deck, per se. It was mostly like a um cost issue, because then branded was expensive. So then I would
Still
have to
is.
make a, you know, brand new account just to play it. Back then at least.
Okay. Um, so do you see so when you do viewer duels, do you get
Mm-hmm.
duelists coming in and there is a mismatch of expectations? Because I think I asked you before and you said you play like whatever you want in viewer duels and whatever
Mm-hmm.
happens happens.
Yep.
Are you playing because you also like to play big stinky piles like Thunder Dragon, Chaos, Horus, Eldritch, White Forest, Fiendsmith,
Yes,
Kashtira,
yes.
and more?
Mm-hmm.
So this big stinky pile, is this the type of thing you're usually playing in duel rooms? Or are you playing? Do you bring meta stuff to duel rooms?
It really depends, right? I usually will try to bring a mix of decks, because how I envision dual rooms is for the view. It's like it's not about me, it's about the viewers getting to share what it is that they enjoy playing. Um, and that might be a different take than most other people, because I know, like, there's a few content creators that are like, oh, I gotta win these viewer duels, like I'm gonna bring my best deck, and then I'm gonna make the biggest and best board that I can make, um, and then show, the viewers like, oh, I'm really skilled or whatever. But I feel like at this point, I am more interested on what viewers can teach me about like the game.
Mm-hmm.
uh, I think this is also coming from the fact that, I do just have a lot of a lot of cards that people don't have access to, right? Um, so I do have the ability to, if I find a viewer's deck to be really interesting, like that White Forest, Voiceless Voice, Kashtira, Horus, Magical Musket, Fiendsmith deck, like
There's even
that.
more stuff in it than I remembered.
Yeah, so it's
The
just, I can take it, I can improve upon it with and give it my own spin. And I think that's just like one of my goals of the viewer duels, just have a great time, learn new things, see what um the different things that we could do with the same pile of cards, right? Just in arrange in a different order. I think that's what motivates me to do viewer duels like that. If that answers your question. I don't remember the
yeah,
original question
yeah,
anymore.
it so it's like asking. I was the crux of my question is trying to get at what is your motivation for viewer duels. And so I try to avoid directly asking like why, like what is your motivation for doing this, but I find it is the most, sometimes people are really really bad at answering questions, especially when I ask a very very pointed blunt question that is directly why are you doing this or whatever. And I don't know why their brain just short circuits because people don't mean what they say, and I always try to mean what I say. And when I say something that doesn't align with what I mean, or I read it back and it
Hmm.
isn't right, I always try to correct it because that is incredibly frustrating to me when people mince their words. So yes, the crux of my question here is like, what is your motivation for what you bring to the viewer duels? And again, there's no like wrong answer here. So what I've been doing in duel rooms and I've been not having fun, because what I've been doing is I say most of the time, um, that it's either like strictly competitive, like I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
bring my best and I'm going to destroy you because we're learning here and practicing, or like I'm gonna find where your level is at.
Yeah.
Like I will try to match specifically your level, because I created the dojo specifically to help people improve at the game, because there's people at all sorts of levels, and I'm not
Mm-hmm.
a pro, but I have a lot of knowledge that a lot of people don't have, and I can share that knowledge, and I love to share what I know. And so when people come into the duel room, and then I'll ask them like, where's your deck at? Because what do you want me to play? And then they say, you can play Tenpai. And I'm like, are you sure about that? They say yes. And then I kill them with Tenpai. And then
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, I'll play a worse deck. And then I bring Rescue Ace. And then I'm like, I set up a whole bunch of things. And then their deck is still just blown out of the water. And it's like, okay, that was still too strong. And then this duelist leaves without saying a word and never comes back. And then it's like, oh man, that was not not what I expected, because I feel like I was clear, but something in my communication was unclear, and it could be how they receive it, because receiving like
I
is
see.
is part of it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
because I will look back and I will do the rigor and ask, what did I do? What did I do there? Could I have been more clear? And maybe I could have done more diligence on like, this is a really competitive deck, like explaining like the meta differences, but you have to assume an amount of knowledge base.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so you are coming in with a big Johnny attitude. So the Yonokata, the Japanese style names always get me, like just hard to pronounce. Meeps does stuff, and people try to bring deck. Okay, hold on. Let me try this again. Let me edit this so it makes Meeps tries stuff, and people bring decks you wouldn't normally see. Okay, I got there. So yeah, this is like the what you're trying to do is you are experimenting with this like fun, the other sorts of fun things. So you said you know nothing about Magic the Gathering. Do you know anything about
Mm-hmm.
Commander?
Commander. That's the thing where it's like 100 cards, but it's all like Highlander type stuff.
Yes.
Oh, and
Yes.
just 1 second. Miku, hello, welcome. Hello, Raiders. Hi. You're joining us while we're having a discussion regarding TCGs in general and Master Duel, maybe.
Hi, Miku. How are you guys
Welcome,
doing?
welcome.
Welcome in. We're having a big thinking session. Don't let that scare you though. Thinking's not that hard. Your brain is a muscle
All
and is
right. Yeah.
actually anti-fragile. That's
All
another
right. Sorry.
concept. Let me soapbox on anti-fragile. We were playing all sorts of tier jank, testing Protoss and stuff. What do you? Why
I do
Protoss
love
and
me
tier?
Protoss.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I love Protoss, but
Yeah.
Protoss and tier sounds a little sussy.
But like going back to like the question, I think it's mostly like um I need an excuse to validate the my card pool. So if you could just boil it to, I gotta justify these cards that I own, and that's a reason for doing viewer duels. I mean, that's part of it, sure.
Okay, so you have a large Master Duel collection. Would you agree to that?
I do. I do have a
Um,
very large
and
Master Duel collection.
looking for an excuse to play all the different cards, and I think that
Hmm.
is fine. So this motivations thing um, is all about what you're playing, and so whoever you're playing with, if they have a similar motivation, you guys have a good time. So if somebody's playing very competitively, so if I brought Malice into your duel room right now, and you were playing, I don't know, any of the decks you played with Scotty, like, I don't think either of us would have a very fun duel.
Well, so like when that happened, right? Like I know a few um frequent visitors to the dual room since I've started streaming again. I kind of know what they play. Like, so there's some people who only brings like when it was meta Snake Eyes, right?
Mhm.
And because I just find it more like a challenge, so I don't really mind it if they brought the best deck or if they brought stun, right? Because I always start the conversation by saying, you know what, you get to go first. Show me what your deck can do, right? Whenever I do the viewer duels, right? Because I always want to see what their deck can do and to see if they can do anything surprising and or funny, much like the MBT show that he does weekly, dual tainting or
Yeah.
something.
Yes.
So I was like very inspired by like, oh, that seems like a really fun idea. And I also just have the blind confidence of like, even if you played the best meta deck of the format, I will simply just destroy your end board and win with my garbage cards, and that's just fine.
So here, so I am hearing that everything is in alignment, and I hear a lot of players that are not in alignment like this, where they bring their Nordic deck or their Eldritch Thunder Dragon deck, and then they
Mm-hmm.
get stomped by Snake Eyes, and they're mad at Snake Eyes for being meta. They're mad at it for being
Yeah.
good. They're mad that their deck is not good, and then they're
Mm-hmm.
confused that they like can't win, and it is a breakdown of understanding somewhere in the chain of like you're not winning, so you're playing under two different motivations here. So this hypothetical duelist that brings
Mm-hmm.
Nordic to a tournament wants to win the tournament, but wants to also express themselves in their specific way. So I want to play Snake Eyes Fiends, or no, I want to win, but I don't want to play Snake Eyes Fiendsmith because I hate it because it's meta. I don't know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't have this hold. So these two are at odds, wanting to win as much as possible and wanting to specifically not play a certain thing. So these are at odds, and these duelists, I don't know why they find their way to me, but these types of players are always being put in front of me, and I'm like,
Uh-huh.
there's a mismatch here of your motivations, that you are saying X and Y
Mm-hmm.
are both true, which might be true. You might hate Snake Eyes and you might still want to win, but then you need to come to grips with you're not going to win as much if you're not giving yourself the best chance to win, because that's what you're doing here. So all of your actions say something. So if you are going to bring Nordic or something awful to a tournament
Yeah.
and you don't win, like that is expected. You're saying either I don't want to win or winning is not my priority.
Mm-hmm.
Um, have you played any poker at all? Like literally any?
No, but I've watched a lot of it.
Okay. So just as like in poker, when you raise or hold or fold, you are saying something about your hand. So if you raise, you are telling your opponent, I have a good hand.
Yep.
And when you fold, you say, this hand has no chance of winning. I'm not going to
Mm-hmm.
lose any more money on it. And so all of your other actions in other realms also say something. They say something about motivation. and where you're trying to go with that. Um,
Hmm.
so I want to, what makes a deck fun for you?
What makes a deck fun for me?
So like, what are
Usually,
some of the most fun decks you played recently?
sorry, it's clearing my throat there. Usually when it unlocks a thing that I usually don't see very well or often. An example of this is my. Let me see if I can pull it up. An example of this that in recent memory I've played is my ABC deck.
Hmm.
Let me see if I still have it here somewhere.
Okay, I'm looking
Uh,
at your stream so I can see also.
okay, I might. Okay, let me see if I Untapped has it. But all it really wanted to do, right? It's not this one because this is something else. But Doriado. All my ABC deck wanted to do was turbo out this card. And once I found, I know what ABC does. I know what the Aurora Dawn combo does, right?
Hmm.
And then finding a end goal for all those things and making it happen makes me really, really happy. And that's one of the things that I keep in mind when building decks. And again, like, it's just summoning this old card that basically is a six solemn warning at the end of your turn. Finding things like that really gets me interested in a deck. Um, Another one is, I've made a deck where it summons out the four Visas, like extra deck versions,
Hmm.
and that's all it did. It doesn't win, it doesn't do anything else, but summon all four of them: Rise Heart, Prime Heart, and all of them, right? And Try Heart. That is that itself is more than enough to keep me satisfied in the game.
Okay, so this is back to Timmy Johnny Spike. This is the biggest like Johnny type experience.
Hmm.
This is like the purest Johnny experience that I've heard somebody express in probably a very long time, where you literally don't care about the outcome of the game. You
Yeah.
want to accomplish your combo, and it doesn't
Hmm.
matter who wins. And so do you bring these decks? Like, would you bring four hearts to ladder? Like, where do you play this deck?
Uh, Mostly against. Ooh, give me a second. Yeah. So I would play this like mostly against friends when we're just like hanging out, right? Like in VC.
Mhm.
Sometimes I would do it in rank back then when I would, try to make a video out of it because you can't just play in a dual room and then make people believe that it's a good deck if you just keep winning. Um, but I wouldn't bring them into a tournament if that's what you're asking. Right? I used to do that. Specifically with Subterror, Kashtira, Punk.
Is
That
this one
all it
deck?
wanted to do is
Subterra
it which one?
Kashtira Punk? Is this one deck?
This is one deck. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Do I have it? Do I have it somewhere? Ah, it's because I have too many cards that But basically, all that deck wanted to do was go from Punk and use Ultimaya Dzolkin to bridge into the Subterror stuff. And that's all it wanted to do. So you're going to end up summoning a bunch of free dragon synchros
Hmm.
just based off of the interaction between Ultimaya Dzolkin and the Subterror trap card that after it resolves, it flips itself back down, right? Because every
Yeah.
time you set a card, Ultimaya Dzolkin summons a boss monster from your extra deck for free every turn.
Okay. So this is another like just another combo. Like these two things work together, and I want to make them work together.
Mm-hmm.
Again,
Yep.
pure heart of Johnny is what this is. Um, and people really, really admire that. And so, me, for a long time, I had a lot of dissonance where I didn't understand my motivations. And my motivation was always, it was like twofold. It was always to win and to learn and improve. So learn from what happened here and get better, and then use that to win. So
Mm-hmm.
Playground Yu-Gi-Oh for me. So Yu-Gi-Oh's always been a part of my life. So Playground Yu-Gi-Oh, I got better and better and better, and people wanted to stop. People did not want to play with me because my motivation was different than theirs, and it was not fun because I would win the game with my terrible deck, but their deck was
Mm-hmm.
even worse and didn't stand a
Yeah.
chance. So they had like straight starter deck, and I had good cards in my deck. Like that's the like I would not say any of
Oh,
my decks were good, but they were like built with some kind of winning image or strategy in mind.
mm-hmm. It's funny you bring out like excuse me, like playground Yu-Gi-Oh, because I mean back then, right? I mean I don't really call it like playing the game, but I did own like a Pegasus structure deck at one point in like elementary school. Um, and people just got very, very annoyed at the fact that Relinquish can like, equip one of your opponent's monsters, that someone actually stole my Relinquish. It got to
Take
that point, and I know who has it because I'm still friends with them, and they have kids now, so I don't want to bring it up, but
take that. I'll take your relinquish. That is really funny because
yeah.
um in again in Magic the Gathering, in Commander is this multiplayer format, so not just two players. It's often four, can be any number though. Um,
Mm-hmm.
People get really, really upset when you steal their things. So like they don't care if you play like the equivalent of Dark Hole. They're like, oh man, you destroyed all my stuff. But if you
Yeah.
take their stuff, if you're snatch stealing and change of hearting, people get furious. And so relinquished is the same thing. It's like I'm going to take your thing and it is now my thing and I'm going to punch you with it.
Mm-hmm.
And this
Yep.
this really gets under people's skin. So Playground Yu-Gi-Oh for me was I won a majority of the games, and then I stopped playing for a little while, and then in 2011 or 10, whenever that was, psychics
Mm-hmm.
were out. So duelist, whatever the set psychics, the psychic stuff was out. Um, because I had like my playground deck was like a miracle synchro fusion deck that made ultimate Axon Kicker and Thought Ruler Archfiend.
Okay.
So like it wasn't. This is not a good deck by any real standard. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and then I met some guys like out in public playing Yu-Gi-Oh, and then they were like, "Come to locals," and I went to locals. But this was my first locals, and I brought Ultimate Axon Kicker with Miracle Synchro Fusion. And I used the Light Hexial Fusion. Are you familiar with these cards?
Yes. Yes.
So I was using the Light Hexial Fusion to summon Ultimate Axon Kicker, which doesn't even work.
Mm-hmm.
Like it.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and and of course I got absolutely smashed at the tournament, but this was like a mind-blowing experience of like, wow, these players, their decks are insane, they're insanely good. And
Mm-hmm.
it was a like 10-person locals, and I'm sure they were not actually, like looking back, they were like fine, but like they were not not god gamers, but I like really, really was super impressed. And then playing to win like changed my whole perspective, and I'm still like stuck in that if we're not playing to win the game, like what's the point unless you are coming up with specifically summon all of the hearts, summon all four Vsauce hearts uh, as like your goal.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Well, it just takes me back to like the first MBT tournament that I did, right?
Mhm.
So I've changed my deck from Nordic to Branded, um, and give me a second.
Yes, Token. He's got everything. He's missing like a couple legacy pack URs or something, but
Yeah, I'm just missing
he has at least
whatever
one of
you see
everything.
here. This is all I'm missing, from my collection. But yeah, going back to the first tournament, I was doing really, really well. Um, I was 5-0, I think, and it was
Hmm.
like a uh, eight Swiss rounds. So I
Yep.
was like almost there, and I eventually got paired up as the feature match for the round, and it was against I Wish TCG, or I
Yep.
Wish I Was Dead,
Yep.
if you know of them.
I'm familiar.
Uh, and I think I really enjoyed being featured. That's when it just clicked that please let me be featured a lot more, and because it's fun, let me show off like what I can do, right? And that did like the whole switch in my mind where, oh, if I just keep performing at these tournaments, then people will, see what I can do in this game and maybe listen to what I have to say about it. And then eventually, I Wish and I are pretty good friends, I think. So
Yeah, I was gonna say,
yeah, I
isn't
mean,
he?
that's just part of it.
Didn't he like become your teammate or something for like teams later in your Master Duel career?
He became like a coach for me, because his background in Yugo is way, way more extensive than whatever I have, right? He basically taught me how to properly play Adignister, which became one of my favorite decks for a while. But yeah, we haven't been in a team together, but we have played against each other's teams, I think, in leagues, but
Oh,
never
okay,
together.
so you weren't teams together. I think then I'm not sure what I was looking at. I've definitely seen his name next to your name somewhere, so maybe it was
I
some
mean, we've
pairing
done
or something. I don't
collabs
know.
previously. And sometimes he just, when I'm learning a new deck and he knows how to play it, and he sees me on stream trying to figure out the lines or struggling to, he would just hop on a call and be like, "Hey, this is how you play this deck."
Okay. Um, do you ever find that your so if an idea doesn't work, do you ever feel like that reflects on you? So like for example, if the like Zulkin Subterror stuff, if it
Hmm.
literally didn't work, um, and by that I mean like the combo doesn't work or something. So in one of the I think it was the first Master Chef or something, Gage is
Yeah.
playing World of Prophecy with some one of the magician girls or something. And then
Hmm.
because it's damage step and then you gain life or something, World of Prophecy misses timing. Uh, like this type of thing, like it literally didn't function. It's illegal combo. Do you feel like this reflects on you and your ideas in any way?
Mm, I think it's just a bit different because then when I was doing that the 4 heart combo thing, I was literally just like trying out combos for like 4 hours by myself before I would like even share it with people to see if it even worked or not. Um, but then even if you were to get it to work, it would have to be like a specific set of conditions where your opponent doesn't do anything and just lets you get away with whatever it is that you're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I think just having like realistic understanding of like one, this may not work, and two, even if it does work, it needs for your opponent to not do anything. And once you accept those two facts, I think it's not really like a big deal if it doesn't pan out. In my mind, at least.
No, I totally agree. And that right there is the dissonance that a lot of people that I encounter have is that they don't understand that their opponent gets to interact with them or whatever. They have a fundamental misunderstanding of the facts and then get disappointed at the facts being the facts.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's an expression, name it, don't shame it, which is, so my, now I don't remember why it doesn't work. I think something about the light hexial fusion and ultimate accent kicker, something literally doesn't work. Like it can't be summoned or something. And this is, I look back and it is funny to me, but like I'm not embarrassed by this, that like
Mm-hmm.
the combo I thought worked doesn't work because I misread the cards.
Yeah. And I mean, like the advent of Master Duel just makes all of that testing a lot easier too. So it's harder to, make mistakes like that, I think. Because now, if you can't do it, then Master Duel will just not let you do, what it is that you were trying to do, right?
Yes, exactly. I was also in the Malice Discord in Master Duel meta, and
Mm-hmm.
Nezu was talking about a line that was, I don't remember what it was. It was one card White Rabbit maybe, but it doesn't matter what it was. And he was ending
Yep.
on an end board that was one link material like larger than mine, and he asked like what was my combo, and I showed him or whatever, and
Mm-hmm.
then he showed his end board, and then I tried to replicate it, and I'm like, I can't get there. I'm one link material short. Like if I had a Bestial, but then like if you have a Bestial, that changes the whole combo. So like I don't know
Yeah.
what's happening here. Um, and then he like looked back, and he says that he used link decoder twice.
Oh God.
So it's
Yeah.
like his
Yeah. Yeah.
combo like literally doesn't work. Um, and then I like we laughed about it, and then it's like, okay, that your combo just doesn't work because you had a brain fart because you were not doing it in the simulator, because I think he was doing it on Dueling Book, and I've been doing it
Mm-hmm.
with physical proxies just because both are much faster. But you can make that mistake, and I had another combo that I was trying to execute, or like trying to lab out, and I I did it once, and then I like had a really good end board with whatever my starter was, and then I tried to do it again, and I couldn't
Mm-hmm.
figure it out. And then I realized what I did is I used Splash Mage twice in that combo.
In like dueling book, or like on in your cards, right? In your
Yeah, in my
physical
cards. So I
cards.
had the
Yeah.
physical
Yeah.
cards, and I was like trying to lab out a new line
Yeah.
under a new situation. I used Splash Mage twice, and it's like, yeah, if you can use Splash Mage twice, that works, but it doesn't. So this is like name it, don't shame it. I'm not embarrassed.
Yeah.
My thing didn't work. The facts are you can't use Splash Mage twice. And I had a brain fart in this moment. Nezu had a brain fart with Link Decoder, and this sort of thing happens.
Yep. Nezu brings back a lot of memories as being one of my deadly enemies in the tournament scenes. Yeah. Their team is just so good at Yu-Gi-Oh.
They're
I
very
don't
good.
even. There was one week where I lost to their team members
Mm-hmm.
4 or 5 times in a single weekend in different leagues and tournaments. I was like, God, let me destroy them, please. But yeah, they're very, very good.
Yes.
Here's an example of a deck that this was like the pinnacle of my achievement, I think, of like building
Yeah, so Neo
things.
Lord Blade said specifically, so this deck has some kind of history. So Neo Lord Blade says, I leave for a few hours and come back to Happiness 2.0. So I see a banned Secret Village in this deck.
Hmm. Yep, there's a band Beatrice as well.
Oh, yep,
Um,
she's there.
and all this really wanted to do was you have Secret Village up, right? Of course,
Mm-hmm.
usually. You would also have the anti-spell fragrance just in case you couldn't get to the thing,
Just in
where
case,
you
as
would
a
have
backup.
to set your cards, right? Set your spells before activating them. But then you also have cards like Dark Simorgh, where your opponent cannot set cards,
Yep, there he is.
which makes the five rainbow thing even funnier because now they can't attack or activate monster effects if they don't have any set cards.
One of my very long-term friends that I met at this like locals for the first time, he was playing a like a quick draw Dark Simorg anti-spell fragrance deck. um
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he destroyed me with it because he went, he summoned some crappy synchron or whatever and went Dark Simorg, set one, pass. And then he flips up anti-spell fragrance and I'm like, that's fine. um and I'm like, hey, set I'll set a back row. And it was like
Hmm.
MST or Heavy Storm or something. I was feeling fine because like I have the out. I've drawn the out. I feel confident. And he goes, you can't set cards. I'm like, what do you mean? Anti-spell says I have to set them first. And then he's
Yeah.
like, Dark Simorg says you can't set cards. And I'm like, okay, I see. So I'm just locked out of spell cards completely. Um,
Hmm.
and then I like brain fart. And then I try to set like a Mirror Force or something. And he's like, you can't set cards. And I'm like, oh my goodness, you're right. I'm sorry. I can't set cards. And then it's like, I don't remember what it was, probably this crappy psychic deck. And then um I tried to set a monster and he's like, you can't
Hmm.
set
You can't
cards.
do it,
And then I
no.
like pick up Dark Simorg and I read it again and I'm like, you're right. Like you got me on spells and traps and monsters.
But there's even more layers to it, right? Like there, you
I
also
see
have the good
Rainbow
old.
5.
You give them Ra's disciple, right?
Oh yeah.
So you give them that off of the Albion, so now they can't special summon because
Hmm.
before they could, right? You just lock them out from setting spells and traps, but they can still special summon. But now this gets rid of it. And if for whatever reason you also still have your Nightmare Griffin, to even to make sure nothing resolves or gets activated with their spell or monster effects, and then you also
Hmm.
have your Mech Knight Avermax because you end on 1800 life points after your full turn one combo. So this has to protect your Verte from getting run over.
Okay, so there's a Verte. What else pays super life points in this deck? I'm
So you have Zephyros, right? The
mhm.
400. You have Verte. Um,
I'm just
there is something
blanking on what else
else.
pays life in this deck or takes damage or
Uh,
similar.
oh
Maybe
God,
the Raid
has it
Raptor
been
stuff?
so long? Oh yeah, yeah, the Raid Raptor, the thing that you get into Beatrice with. So you would do your Raid Raptor combo, bring back the 4, rank it up into Beatrice as a 6. Yep.
Hmm.
That was it, I think. It was just that, yeah. So half your life points, yeah. Because then you pay 400, half of your life points was 4,000, and then you cut it by 2,000. Yeah, that was it.
Okay. Um, is there any deck that you wouldn't play or like you'd refuse to play on principle alone? Like something in you just rejects ever wanting to play this deck.
Yeah, yeah. There were a couple of them actually. I have this thing where if my friends really, really like a deck, I will not play that deck, and I will just hate it on principle because they like it so much, and it doesn't make sense.
No, no,
I
this
have a
this makes sense to me. This makes sense to me because you are very, very aligned with your like Johnny stuff and your self-expression. And so you are feeling, and I'm putting words in your mouth, and correct me if
Mhm.
I'm wrong, you are feeling that this deck has an identity linked to your friend, and you playing it steps on their identity, and like you don't have a specific problem with that with the deck or with their identity being this deck, but that you don't want your identity, like you cannot express yourself how you feel because you have an association of your friend with this deck.
I mean, when you put it that way, that it kind of makes sense. The deck that I'm referring to is Sword Soul. Like they're a really big Sword Soul fan. Back in the day, and I was just like, nope, I will just never play this deck. I hate it. Um, Especially when people started using that copy pasta of Moye.
Oh yeah.
I was like, oh, this is getting so old, folks. Yeah.
I see a couple dragons in this deck. What are they doing in this?
The funny thing with this one is this just searches out any field spell, right? So now I was like,
Mhm.
what's the funniest field spell that I can search? Well, it's gonna be Sanguine Summoning, surely. So you do
What
your full combo. and then you get the dragons out, and then it's all funny for me.
This guy searches for field spells? Because I don't see an
Like
ancient fairy
anything, yeah,
dragon.
yeah. This guy does. The new worm.
Can you click on him so I can read it?
Mhm.
We got a
Yeah.
reader.
Yeah, when this is synchro summon with 2 or more worm monsters, so that's your usual sword soul combo, add 1 field spell, any field spell, funniest field spell you can think of, add it to your hand.
So this is the type of card. And also note that it doesn't say using worms, so he doesn't require worms. You just need worms in your grave or banishment. So like if you Foolish Burial for 2 worms,
Mm-hmm.
and then you synchro
Mm-hmm.
summon this guy using, I don't know, a Kashtira plus Effect Veiler,
Yep.
he gets to tutor.
Mm-hmm.
So
Which
this
is extremely
really gets
funny.
your Johnny sensibilities super rolling. You see this type of card, and exactly, this is what... So Mark Rosewater is the magic designer, and he's the one that
Mm-hmm.
came up with the magic psychographics. So I open this card in a booster pack, and I then go to the meta websites and look at the viability of this card, and it's in 0 tournament winning decks, and I won't even read the card. It's like, okay, dismantle immediately. Goodbye.
I
Not
see.
interested.
Yeah.
You open this card, you look at this card, you see that it searches any field spell, and you get very excited.
Yes. Yes. Because I mean, just off of seeing it, we were already like trying to figure out what would be like the funniest thing to search off of it. Toad and I is usually like my other co-conspirator that I unfortunately have to drag along willingly or unwillingly on their behalf to figure out these combos. Um, and yeah, I just didn't have enough time because this is a deck that so like when I did the viewer duels for this new pack that came out,
Yep.
I bought the packs like right before stream started, and then we just put together decks. But if I had more time, I would have tried to create something better than just summoning Tempai dragons with the field spell, of course. I don't even know how to find the field spell thing
Up,
over here.
up a little bit, above the types. You're going way
Yeah,
up.
like we would just another thing that we just do in general is Toad and I sometimes just hang out in a VC looking at card arts, because that's just like a big portion of the game for me. Um, the card arts need to be like really, I mean, they have to be like decent looking for me to play it. And sometimes if I look at a card art and I've never read it before, and because of the art and like caught my attention, I would try to build a deck around it.
So like what's a card art that has like really got you, like has really gripped you, and then like you've either built that deck or something
Ooh.
around that?
Uh, hmm. I can't think of one from Master Duel recently,
week
but
you
in
just followed.
Shadowverse, there was just like I got like how do I say this? Imagine like if Master Duel had, how we have royals. Imagine if we had like something beyond that, like a super royal. So I opened one of those super royals in Shadowverse, and I was like,
Uh-huh.
okay, well, I'm locking in. This is my new deck now, just because I opened that card in, like super royal, and the art was cool.
Okay. There was actually a guy in the in the Malice Discord, because that's where I've been lurking, and he was
Mhm.
asking why don't any of the combos end on the Malice boss monsters? and I asked
Uh-huh.
and I said because like Apo Firewall is just better. Like you're going to win more games ending on Firewall than like Firewall Lingu is better than Terahertz almost all the time. Like
Mhm.
so why would you make Cryptor instead of Firewall Lingu? Like because you can make either one. And he goes, I pulled a Royal Hearts Cryptor, so I feel obligated to summon it.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, motivation difference, and this is why you're losing games. Like this is the exact dissonance that I'm talking about. So like if you if you're he's motivated to summon the Cryptor,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
but also wants to win, and these two are at odds if he's not making the best play.
What was it? It's like today, in the Scotty conquest that we were playing,
Mhm.
I chose to play hand traps that I knew wouldn't come up, which was detrimental when I drew them all 7 games or whatever, being Valor and Droll, and I only added them because they were royal. So I get the sentiment, you know.
Yeah, definitely. I have two other like art examples that I want to, or like
Mm-hmm.
mini stories. Um, I don't remember who it was. It was a player who was writing, I think, for Alter Reality Games at the time when windups were good. Now I
Ah,
can't
love
remember who it
windups.
was.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Um, so I also am a huge fan of windups, and somebody asked him, like he wanted YCS or a regional or something. He won, I don't know, he won or topped or whatever. It doesn't matter. And somebody asked him like, in a pejorative way, how do you feel about winning with literal toys? And he's like, what do you mean? And then the guy that
Mm-hmm.
like asked him said, the windups are all literal windup toys. And he goes, oh, I didn't even notice. I barely look at the art. Like I only
Oh,
play the game.
yeah, yeah, the complete opposite of me. Yeah. I mean, it's just about efficiency at that point.
Yeah, so he was,
But see,
his
that's why I'm the
motivation was
opposite.
pure efficiency. I also have triple Zen Matey and one Zen maintenance.
It's like that's why I don't know what some of these cards do some of the time. So I look at the art and I'm like, okay, cool. This is the art. I generally know what the card does. So that will just mean that I understand completely what this card does until I don't, right? Just like earlier today, when they
Mhm.
did the shark trap thing, I was like, okay, cool. I guess that's how that card works. And we've learned something today.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
there's another streamer who's more on your side, Sleepy Anthony. I don't know if you've seen him around. He plays Gimmick Puppet and Ubel,
Mm-hmm.
and he keeps asking for like advice on like what his build should look like or whatever. And I have stopped giving this advice, but my advice was repeatedly, you're missing all the Fiendsmith cards. Like there's no Fiendsmiths in your Ubel deck. You should put them in. Like if you want to win games, you should put them in. And he says like he just really, really hates the art of Fiendsmith, and he like refuses to play Fiendsmith because he hates the art.
That's yeah. See, I don't think I would go that far. If a card is good, I would play it. Um, Especially if it fits the deck theme. I don't think is there a card that I don't like? Uh, I mean, there's a bunch of arts that I don't really find interesting. And then whenever I see it, I don't know if I can find it. Can I search by legacy pack
No,
in
I
this thing?
don't think so.
No. Oh. There was just like card that just kept coming up, and every time I saw it, I would
Maybe
forward the
you can
photo to
sort
my friends.
by number, so like UR and then number owned, because maybe if you have more
Oh,
than three copies.
I don't know. I don't know if I have more. But it was just like a really ugly thing, and then I was just like, I get upset. Like, why is this in the game? But that's a bit irrelevant to what you were trying to say. Um, I remember there was a person who did the tournament circuits.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was like Victoria. Victoria. Um, no. There was like some sort of like angel card that would always be in their side deck. And it had no value for the deck. It was only because it held sentimental value to them. That
Sophia,
every
maybe. I don't know.
is it Sophia? No. It's like a fairy. But the only reason why they had it in their deck was because it was a sentimental value thing. And it held no purpose. And people would ask in Master Duel meta, like, "Hey, why are you playing this card? Like, what does this do?" And like, nothing, nothing. But I just play it in every single tournament that I play in. Uh, yeah, I don't remember which one it was. Um, mm, mm, mm. I mean, like having cards like that is cool, right? It's not really about. Well, I mean, I guess it only takes like 1 out of 14 or 15 slots in your extra deck or your side deck. I mean, so it's not like hurting your chances too much.
Is
Uh,
there a little bit unrelated? Is there something mechanical, like a mechanical thing in the game that you just absolutely love to do, no matter how good it is?
a mechanical thing.
Yeah, like a game. If a deck does this thing, you love to do this thing, whatever it is. So my example of this
Oh yes,
is
yes, yes.
okay. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh, it's summoning Firewall Dragon Singularity in any deck. This is something that I would do, whatever it is. Tearlament, I'll do it. Vanadium, I'll do it. Give me a deck, I will summon Firewall Singularity. And that is the point of the deck. I don't care how good it is. Yep, this is the guy. I don't know if that answers. Um, but yeah.
Yeah,
The,
yeah, it kind of does. So like it's normally like a game action or something, but that can definitely be like the same type of thing. Like if a deck can summon Singularity, you're gonna force it in and shoehorn it, whether or not it's right. Like if it's not all marbles on the line for winning, Singularity's going in.
Yep. I
Um,
mean, even if it was, right? Because sometimes you just don't expect it, and then you just win that way.
that sounds like copium.
No, it's fine. It works 100% of the time you win.
Yeah, when Singularity, when you go first and your opponent doesn't
Yeah, yeah,
have the out and they don't hand trap you and you get to Singularity and he resolves, he
yeah.
does the thing. What does it even do? I need to read. This is another reader. Um, it's
Singularity?
just a super bounce.
Yes. And then it gains attack. And you can select up to many cards as you have different types of monsters in your grave or on your field. So Ritual, Fusion, Synchro, and Xyz.
Okay, so it's just a this one is just a better firewall.
hmm And then you also get to summon. So if a monster that it's pointing to leaves the field, you can summon a Cyberus monster from your grave. So if you've used Firewall Dragon to summon this guy out, you can
Mm-hmm.
probably get Firewall Dragon back.
Very handy, very handy. So, another thing I did recently. All my stories are Malice because that's where the only place I've been. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I had a Firewall Dragon on the field, and I said like, man, I wish I could blink Firewall Dragon, and I had an SP like right underneath it. So like the Firewall was in the EMZ and my SP was in the main monster zone. And then one of my chatters is like, SP can banish Firewall, and I'm like, oh my goodness, you are right. SP can reset your
Mm-hmm.
Firewall so you can use it again. And that was very exciting. But my like mechanical weakness, my like one weakness that I like can't not do is discard and like looking at your hand. So like no matter how good it is, like
Mm-hmm.
so if I'm talancing, I'm going to look at your hand and take a card. Like even if I
Yeah.
should draw a card, even if I should take your monster, I will have to force myself to not look at your cards and take your best one from your hand. So like you could have an
You mean
8,000 attack dragoons on the field, and I'll
uh-huh.
activate triple tactus talent, and I'll have to think about it. I'll have to. Do I look at your hand and take your card, or do I take your 8,000 attack dragoons and kill you?
I mean, surely you go for the monster, right?
No, no, yes, thus the correct decision is the monster. But I'm saying like this is my like weakness. Like I
Like, but you,
can't
you
not
always
go
go
for
for
the
the hand?
discard. This is a
Ah,
like this
interesting.
is my like leak. So I see it as a leak, but like this is what I find fun. Is I find it fun to look at your hand and take your card. So like Necro Valley.
Hmm.
Necro Valley is a fine card. It's a floodgate, stops your opponent from doing things. Royal Tribute, that is one hell of a card. I love that card.
Yeah.
Mind Crush, when they
Mm.
changed the rules, so like Mind Crush was always awesome, always in my side deck. And when they changed the rules that like you don't get to see their hand anymore, I was just devastated. I'm like, well, this has lost all value. I will never play this card ever again if I don't get to look at their
Yeah.
hand.
Oh, that's right. They changed it. I see. I see what you mean. Mm-hmm. Because
And
before you would get
dissected
to look at your hand to verify it, right?
yes. And I don't know who it was. Somebody clipped on my channel. So I'm playing Mermail. And I
Mm-hmm.
go Minstrel. I activate Minstrel and I go Thoughtseize you. That's what I say. And then I'm talking about gooning later in the clip, and like so somebody has clipped this because I'm like
Okay.
Minstrel. I'm like Thoughtseize you, and then I'm gonna start gooning. Uh, and of course that's why
Yeah.
they clipped it. But like it starts with Thoughtseize you, and
Mm-hmm.
there's a magic card, Thoughtseize, and it says like target player reveals their hand. You choose a card and discard it.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's not really a meme, but it's like tournament clarity. Like it has become a meme of like Thoughtseize target you because you can target yourself with Thoughtseize to make yourself discard.
Oh, interesting. Hmm.
So there's reasons to do that. Like it's very very rare, but it's like you're going to use a monster reborn on some huge thing or something. But it's very rare that you would discard yourself. But
Mm-hmm.
Thoughtseize target
And
you like became a meme because if you play Thoughtseize, it's legal to target either player. So then you have to like as the tournament player, you have to ask your opponent if they're going to target themselves, like give them the opportunity to mess up.
yeah.
Yeah, you had something to say? Go ahead.
Oh, I'm just saying, like, I don't really have a game mechanic that I would like always do in the same way that you would always go for the hand. I don't think I have. No, it's just whatever I think is best at the moment is usually what I would go for.
I'm able to take the Dragoons, but I will like click on the look at hand mode and consider it, and then it's like, no, I can't do that. Taking Dragoons wins the game. It's obviously take huge Dragoons, but I do hesitate.
Mm-hmm. What is this? Dragon Ball Super music. This is One Piece, by the way. It is One Piece music, but yeah. Hmm.
Um, and then I'm gonna go in one last direction.
Sure.
And then we'll figure out some kind of wrap up. Is
Mm-hmm.
there something that always pisses you off in Yu-Gi-Oh? That it's just like this is your, I wouldn't say kryptonite. You're like red kryptonite makes you angry no matter what it is.
Uh, my thing that I hate is having to watch people play when it's not my turn. Oh God. Yeah. There in the I think is so when I stopped doing competitive stuff, I just like didn't touch the game. Um for a long time. Maybe like 3, 4 months of me just like ignoring Master Duel in general. Just because like I came to a point where I was just thinking like what am I a bit off topic, but I was like, what am I doing with my life? And I just got into like this existential like crisis of like, am I really spending a lot of my day watching people do their combos, having fun, as I do nothing? And that just turned me off of the game for like a couple of months. Just because I felt like I should be doing something else with that time, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes
Um,
sense.
and the only thing that got me back into like content creation or like VTubing or whatever in general was finding out that someone out there was a cancer researcher and decided to give that up to make content and be a VTuber. Um, And from that perspective, I was just like, okay, well, maybe it's okay for me to like do something that will let me have fun and enjoy myself, right? Um, and then from there, I guess it also depends like on what context you're watching other people play, because a lot of these decks that I play have like really powerful cards that would prevent my opponents from playing, and that's the Yu-Gi-Oh that I really enjoy. Is you can watch me have fun.
Did you see the dual MBT's dual tainting where they go through Pinocchio?
No, no. What
Okay,
is that? What is
that
Pinocchio?
was, now I don't remember. I'm gonna mess it up. But the guy tells the full story of Pinocchio. Like he goes,
I see.
like
Yeah,
he
yeah,
has a puppet, and then
yeah.
I can't. He summons like Zealantis. Zealantis eats it. Geppetto. There's the cat and Jiminy Cricket. Like he
Uh-huh.
finds a card to represent all of these. He summons all of them like in order, and then at the end, like he turns the puppet into a real boy. But I don't remember what the real boy was. I just remember like Zealantis was the whale, but there was like a
Mm-hmm.
representative card for like each of the main characters, that not even just the main character, like all of the characters from Pinocchio, and he summoned them all in the order like of the film, telling the events of the film through Yu-Gi-Oh.
Uh, yeah, I don't think I've seen that one.
Okay, well that
But
is
yeah, it's just something about like time, You have a finite amount of time. Is, is watching other people have fun comboing really, a good use of it is what it came down to. So I think mechanic wise, and gameplay wise, Yu-Gi-Oh is fine. It's just the time aspect of it. Especially if you're trying to, like get really good, or if you're now leading a team, which I was, you're spending a ton of your time, um, you know,
yeah, it's definitely a
practicing,
lot of time.
learning.
Um, I had one last. Oh, what? How do you feel about playing a deck like Sky Striker Tenpai with like no interactions at all? You have to sit through your opponent, watch their whole thing, and then you break the board and kill them. Because I think I saw that was like in your deck's page.
Mm-hmm. That I mean, it's fine because then I did that exactly for the March DC when I wasn't really playing Master Duel, and I was like, oh, let me just get these gems really quick. So I would just like boot up the game, walk away from the PC for a bit, come back when it's my turn, do my combo, win, rinse and repeat kind of thing. So that I didn't really mind. So I think there's like um, what is it? I really don't mind playing decks like that.
Okay, because that sounds like it's at odds with what you said, that you have to watch your opponent. But again, I see that it is actually the same. So you don't so something like Sky Striker Tenpai doesn't have to interact at all. You let them
Hmm.
combo completely checked out, and then you check in when it's your turn.
Yeah, because I
And
mean
then
it just depends, right? Like if I'm playing a deck that has interactions for their turn, then I have to be physically there and
yeah, so a
watch for
deck with like
when it's
20
my
hand
turn to
traps or
you.
whatever, you have to pay attention to what's going on.
Yeah. So if you just like let me go first and do my thing going first and lock you out from the game, great, amazing for me. If you if I just let you do your thing, I walk away and I come back, and then it's my turn, then amazing for me as well.
Um, okay, I don't have a wrap up, but I think it's I think it's time to wrap up. So I will like plan some kind of wrap up next time. I feel like I've learned a lot in this format. So thank you.
Hmm.
Um and I did think beforehand um that like not exactly that I wouldn't be able to like therapize you, because like being a therapist isn't my goal here either. But that I don't see specific dissonances within you,
Mm-hmm.
And so all the stuff I've seen is that you do seem like in alignment with everything because you don't have any problems you're running into.
Yeah. I feel like I don't really I'm not really expecting anything at this point. Like with Master Duel specifically, like I'm not trying to be like the best. I'm not trying to go to like the worlds or whatever. I'm just here to vibe and have a good time. So
Yeah, your
yeah.
motivations are in alignment with your actions, and therefore you're arriving where you want to arrive.
Yeah. So that sounds like me.
Yeah. Okay, so Token the Cat redeemed a replay and then just reminded us. So they
Yes,
asked
yes,
about
yes.
voiceless voice, and I am curious. So can we watch this?
Okay, yeah, yeah. Let me see. Copy. Ba, ba,
Gold
ba,
2, what a
ba.
scrub.
That's where the best duelists are.
Duelist
Cause what?
proficiency level 18. You don't even know
No,
anything about Master Duel.
what you quickly find out playing in a lot of these like tournament leagues and all that stuff is
Is that you
most of the
just let your
testing
account
is
decay. Yeah.
no, it's
Or it's
done in like groups in circles. So you're if you know they aren't grinding to rated one unless they have the time for it. You
yeah,
know.
because their motivation is not on Master 1, it's on winning the tournament.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Okay. All right. Let's see what this is all about.
You're in bunny rank. Yonokata, I encourage you to play ranked because any games get you out of bunny rank. Win
That
or
is true.
lose, you
Free
literally
gens.
just have to finish the game.
All right. What do we have here? Seems pretty standard so far.
Okay, so I'm watching on a delay from Meeps' voice. So the opponent goes pre-prep, and then Meeps says pretty standard
Yep.
so far.
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty standard, yeah. So it's like make Barone here, right? And that seems to be all our interaction. Okay, you make Stardust, and then you make the Barone. Wait, what? Satellite Warrior, you say? Okay, so you can destroy 2 cards when this is summoned because you have 2 synchros, sure. Okay, and then we did see them add Trias, right? Or did we not see them add it?
I
No,
didn't
we
see
didn't
the
see them add it.
Trios.
Yeah. Okay, so that was unknown. Fair enough. Da, da, da. Okay. So what was the question about their deck?
Is why did they concede?
Oh, why did they concede? I see. All right, let's see. Yep.
So it could also be completely unrelated to the gameplay because there
Yeah.
was so this morning my opponent starts malicing, I activate Maxi, they don't negate, they continue playing, I'm drawing cards, my doorbell rings.
Yeah.
I walk away, I answer the door, I come back and I have forfeit the duel because I've taken no action.
Mm-hmm. But then the game
So
tells you, right? Like if you lose due to that, I
yes,
think.
yes, but it doesn't say about your opponent, I think. I think it just says like opponent surrendered.
That's where you put an auto clicker on to not lose. It's crazy. Okay.
Yeah, if I had just toggled off
Interesting.
completely, like I might not have lost that game. Um,
Okay, summoning the second Skull Guardian. Because we destroyed the first one with Stardust. Yep. Second Saravis is interesting. What rank is this?
You can click on
Uh,
their profile in the game to. I'm
yeah, this
looking to
is
see where they.
Silver 4, I think. Okay, so we're locked from activating special summoned monsters effects, I think, or affect monsters effects in general. Yep, that's why we can't use our SP. Oh, I mean, it gets banished anyways. Sure. Okay, we're drill beaming in advance. Nah, it's fine. It's all part of the learning process, you know? Imperial Dragon has an animation. I think that's the first time I've ever seen it.
Spoilers, Meeps. Wow, I've never seen that. Because he summons it now, so I'm just a few seconds behind on the
Yeah,
video. Banish the
I see.
monsters. No
I
concession
can
yet,
think
because he
of
can
two
still.
things why they surrendered. First, the aura that you were giving off with summoning what is it called? Imperial Dragon, right? Spooky card. 100% win rate as far as I'm concerned.
I
Um,
I've only seen it win games. I've only seen it summoned the single time. I've never seen it summoned before.
yep, exactly. The list, yeah. Da da da. Um, details. See your deck. Yep. So it's like all the hand like SR hand traps maybe. You have the Jewel Swarms, you have the Impulse, which gets you to the 6 and gets you to
Draw
a
more cards.
Barone. Hmm. I just thought not something the Barone was a bit strange, but I guess you tried to pop 2 instead, which, you know, could have been good maybe if they didn't have Chios in hand.
Why they surrendered though, I don't know. I think it was Aura or it down in Silver 4. It's very hard to guess motivations like this. Because the lower you go, the like less plays make sense. So there was another like concept, the concept of bluffing that came
Hmm.
across my radar, and the two dudes were saying that like there are levels to bluffing, and in order to bluff, you have to know what all of the like what is in the possibility space to begin with, and that your action tells your opponent that. So, like, if we go back to poker and raising tells your opponent you have a good hand, you have to understand that raising tells your opponent you have a good hand.
Hmm.
Because if you don't understand that and you are taking actions at random, that information is not bluffing and your opponent can't use that information. So sometimes things don't make sense. Uh, and the lower you go, the more things don't make sense. So I have two awesome examples of exactly this. I was dueling in Platinum, and Platinum,
Hmm.
I don't, to me is like hell because it's exactly this. It feels like players are playing completely at random. And I have a Nibiru in my hand, and my opponent is doing like Fiendsmith stuff, and he has lethal in 4 summons, and I don't scoop. And chat is saying like scoop, and I'm like, no, he's gonna normal summon something. Trust. And then
Yeah.
the opponent normal summons something, and I get to Nibiru him when I should just be dead. I
Yeah, I mean sometimes you just want to like show off your deck, right? So you gotta do, even though you had lethal on board, you just gotta do the final push, be like, haha, look at my deck.
And there was another time an opponent summoned the Shiranui tuner in attack position, set 1, and passed. And so I'm playing around the Shiranui Icarus attack the whole game.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, he's gonna pop my thing, so I can't use like continuous spells. I don't remember what I was playing. I was like, hey, I'll play around all the stuff. I think I was playing Crystron. Um, because the continuous stuff mattered. So like I can't activate inclusion without a spell
Mm-hmm.
trap negate because he'll just pop it. And then like I set up, and then I just missed lethal playing around this card, and then I pass,
Oh. Uh-huh.
and he flips over his set card, and it was Regeki.
Yep. Yep. Bluff of the century.
So like,
Got
this is
him.
like beyond a bluff. Like I don't think he was aware of the possibility space that could have been that summoning your Shiranui and setting one tells me it's that,
Mm-hmm.
because that is like too big brain for everything else that was happening. So I generally try not to read into what my opponents are doing or thinking, especially like in low ranks and especially on Master Ladder, because it's like your opponent got their food delivered. Like
Sometimes a free win is a free win, I just take it.
their mom said it's dinner time, or they got to brush their teeth.
Gem, hi. Hi, welcome in. Welcome in, Gem.
Hi, Jem. Okay. Thank you, Meeps, for having me. Thank you for being my first victim
Yeah, of course,
of
anytime.
brain picking. I might call it Thoughtseize. I like that. I just like brain blast, like I'm picking your brain
Mm-hmm.
and asking whoever it is questions about things. And Thoughtseize is one of my favorite cards. So thank you for coming up with Thoughtseize, Meeps.
Yeah. Of course, of course. Anything for you, my friend.
Okay, so I see that you have 8 hours left.
Yep, we have 8 hours left of wonderful Master Duel.
Have you finished
Probably gonna
the event?
Nope, have not started. Probably gonna do some viewer duels and replays if people are interested, and then jump back and forth between that and anything else that people might want to do.
Okay, that sounds good. I think I'm gonna do a little bit of the event myself and then go to bed because it's almost bedtime.
Yeah, yeah, sounds good. And everyone in my chat, please go check out MD Dojo's channel. Great content creator, great friend. Please check them out.
MD may or may not stand for medical doctor.
Yeah, there is a VTuber who is an actual doctor, and their content is going over like medical stuff, and I find that really interesting.
That's really interesting. Again, unrelated. So the way I'm always on a tangent. There was a food safety podcast that I listened to some years ago, and
You're not gonna just
when
follow.
it was pointed out to me, I was like, a food
Mhm.
safety podcast? That sounds like the most boring thing I could ever listen to. But it was actually like really, really interesting. And I was surprised that I was, for maybe a year, I listened to a weekly or month, however often it was, a food safety
Mhm.
podcast.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so I think I have nobody in my chat. I can't see. I have 17 shared viewers and one viewer, which is probably me. So nobody go follow Meeps.
Let's go. Let's go.
Let me open up my alt and follow. Oh, right, it's Proxeed. It's Proxeed M2. Proxeed is from me.
Yay. Hello. Hello.
So Proxeed, go follow Meeps.
You're fine. But yeah, 8 hours more to go. We'll hopefully I survive. Hopefully I survive.
Do you have like a food and caffeine plan?
Yeah, I have sustenance lined up. It's just mostly like me trying to blow my nose and all that stuff because I'm still recovering from being ill.
When you're a PNG tuber, nobody can
the
see you blow
best
your nose.
feeling watching him.
Yeah, that's the magic of it. Don't reveal our magic.
Oh, I just checked. I'm already following you on my alt account. Sorry.
Oh, you're good.
I can't give you an extra
Thank
follow.
you.
Okay. Thanks for having me, Meeps. And now how do we end this? So I can end the Discord call, but I don't know how to stop streaming together.
Oh, I can just end it.
You can
from
just
my
kick me
side.
out of
Yeah,
here. Get out of my
Mhm.
house. Get off my lawn.
Not an issue. Happy to do it even.
All right, Meeps viewers, kick his ass.
All right. Have a good one.
Thanks, Meeps.
Yeah.